Happy Friday, everybody. Andy and Steve from WagerTalk.com. We are here for the Road to Millions, where we are helping you turn $1,000 into $1,000,000 just by turning a little bit of profit each week. That is our goal. Got a really nice show for everyone today. We're going to recap yesterday. We're going to go to the weekend betting lab. We got to talk a little MLB. I'll talk a little UFC and PFL. We got some really good units that we can bring in. And then Steve's got an NFL future he was wanting to talk about. We do have a free play that we'll go over. We have a viewer question and, of course, the streak of the day. Let's do yesterday's recap. We had a tennis play that lost, and then we have one that's pending because it got rained. There was a lot of rain up in Washington, so we're kind of holding steady. It was a parlay. We cashed the first leg, and that the second leg is the one that's more juicy and that we're more confident about. So high hopes that we will cash the tennis play. We got to wait till later today. Baseball, they didn't make it easy for us, but a win's a win, buddy.
Complete opposite of a no sweat. We had the Rangers on the run line, and in the first inning, Max Scherzer did not have a fun first inning as a Texas Ranger. He gave up 3 runs, put us in a spot where we immediately needed 5 runs just to cover the bet, and that's assuming if the other team didn't score another run. Luckily, they didn't, and Scherzer was really strong the rest of the way. I'd give the MVP of the day to Mitch Garver. He had a solo bomb, and then that big hit late in the game. That was our last out. So we man on second, 2 outs, bottom of the ninth. This is our last chance with a 4-3 game to tack on that run, and it comes down to it. He gets that single, and we managed to get out of the ninth inning unscathed, and we get the 5-3 victory.
Brings us up to plus 8.2 units since Tuesday, so we are doing great. Golf plays look pretty good. I know we've got a couple guys in parlays. JT Poston, he is in the top 5 right now. He's playing this morning, so we have him to make the cut. That's good. And then we have Steven Yeager, who will tee off around 12:15. We have him to make the cut. He's tied for 17th right now. So golf plays are looking pretty good. So, and I just think we're going to keep going with how we've been going at baseball. 4-0 in August. So there's really no reason to deviate away from that. So plays that are up right now, guys, if you're not locking in these MLB plays, please do. 4-0 in August, 62% since June 1st. Not going to get much better than that. So if we hit 62% for the rest of the remainder of the MLB season, oh boy, the road to millions got shorter, Steve, if we can keep that up.
Yeah,
right?
we'll be very happy with those results.
UFC and PFL pack is up. The UFC play is already up. I'm waiting on a prop to come out in the PFL to complete the play. If I don't see it by probably noon or 1 o'clock Eastern time, I'll just I'll just throw up the regular play. It'll just be a little bit more juicy. But this is the PFL event that I was saying is the Save Your Money event. We're going to put it up, and I have very high hopes for PFL. So if you don't have those plays, go grab them at WagerTalk.com. And let's move on to the weekend betting lab here, MLB. So, Steve, just kind of walk us through. We talked about some of the teams that we wanted to fade, and they have not disappointed so far. So, just go over some of these teams that are terrible. Mets, I think, lost again. So, what do we expect over the weekend?
Yeah, we'll be targeting some of these fade material teams over the course of the weekend, like usual. Most of them have been cashing for us. Obviously, it was 4-0 start to the month in August. Pretty proud of that. And one thing I wanted to mention though was I actually came across a little player prop info that might be nice for in the future. Maybe he might be pitching on Sunday. When I was writing an article yesterday, Jameson Taillon, so his outs under yesterday, he had to pitch 6 innings was the over under for his outs recorded. He's went under now in 16 of 19 games on the season. And he's only went over that mark once at home. He's really just struggling at home. If you look at it, his ERA at home is 6.17. His opponent batting average is 3.19. Compared to on the road, his ERA is 4.28. Opponent batting average 2.01. So if you can get this guy the outs under 6 in home games going forward, it's a great spot. It cashed yesterday. He went under. He didn't make it through the 6th inning once again. And when he's at home, he's even worse. So that's a great target for a player prop right there.
That's a great look. Love that one. We talked about the damn Royals yesterday. We just knew the first five was going to hit. But I texted you. Listen, we always say there's a couple phrases that we always have to keep in mind. Obviously, the first one is 3%. We're aiming for 3% a week. The next is best way to make money is to not lose it, and we would rather not give out a winner than give out a loser. So yesterday we were happy with our play. It cashed. Um, as soon as the Royals went up the first five, I was like, oh no, they're gonna win this first five, just like we talked about on the show. The good news is based on some of the comments, I think a lot of people took the took the Royals yesterday.
That's good to hear because when it passed us by, it hurt. It was one of those things where we're proud of the discipline to stick to the play that we had circled, and at least that play cashed, so that worked out nicely. But the Royals, the hottest team in the MLB with 6 straight wins, um, you know, like you said, that's we rather miss a win than add a loss to the record generally.
Yeah.
So
It's hard to be mad at 2%. We're certainly not. We're grateful for every win that we have. But yes, that was a funny moment there. So
and I considered them again today. But they're like plus 200. They're playing the Phillies. Nola's on the mound. The big issue, I guess, would be is you got Lyles on the mound.
it's an issue.
The loss machine. Lyles is on the mound for the Royals. So today might be the end of that streak potentially.
Yeah. UFC and PFL. So PFL goes tonight. You've got some undercards that I don't really want any part of, but there are just a few fights that I absolutely want to get involved with. There's one line that I don't understand. Myself and Jim Malero keep going back. We don't understand why Impa is -2. It's 218 now against Martin Hamlet, and then they did the weigh-ins, and I just thought Hamlet was going to be way bigger than Impa, and then he's not. Oops. So I guess the line makes a little bit more sense, but I just think you got some really, really nice. I think you got some fighters that are in over their heads in a couple of these fights, and there's an over that I'm waiting for that prop to come out. So as soon as those come out for PFL, definitely expect those. Definitely expect some plays in that. And UFC, I'm real happy with our play that's up right now. I don't think I'm going to add anything to it except for that is the free play that I'm going to do here at the end. I've got a couple overs that I want to put together, but there's a couple underdogs that I like. I think there's going to be some underdogs that surprise everybody. So low volume is going to be my recipe. So I know there's other people that really like this card, but for us, the Road to Millions, we're having a great week. I'm going to just take it really easy in UFC and probably just stick to that one play, and then we'll do the free play as well. So NFL, you had a future that you wanted to go over.
Yeah, generally with the player prop futures, we're targeting unders. Personally, we are targeting unders and kind of like some of the lower overs, if anything. This one's kind of like it's higher, I guess, but it's more of a mid-range to higher over. I'm looking at Chris Olave from the New Orleans Saints. His receiving yard total is set at 1050. Last year he had 1042, so he fell just short of this mark. And he gets a huge quarterback upgrade with Derek Carr entering the picture, and we've seen Derek Carr support a top 5 fantasy receiver in 4 of the past 5 seasons. We've seen Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow even in the past, obviously Devontae Adams last season. And speaking of Adams, Olave's target share after from week 2 on last season, he had a low total in week 1, but after that, his target share was equivalent to Devontae Adams.
Wow.
So with Carr now in town, Olave just falling 8 yards short of that total last season, this seems like a great spot for him to go over 1050 this season. And I know it's a higher number. That's not generally something that we would attack, but it just seems like a really great spot to me.
Okay. Yeah, Olave. Be nice to get some low totals on his yards the first couple weeks, maybe for player props as well. That'd be really nice. So,
well, that's one thing I meant to mention that. Actually, I'm sorry, but
yeah,
not just the total on the season, but when you break that up over the course of 17 games, obviously it's not the exact breakdown, but this isn't going to be could be somewhere in the early on maybe 60s or 70s if we're lucky. I mean, and that would be it would be a great spot to get early on, to get some nice overs early on.
Take a look at Olave. Let's do a viewer question here. It has to do with the series. Kenneth, what's great info as always. I enjoy the plays as always. Appreciate the info from Steve on teams to play against. Would these be teams to play against a team on a series bet? Look forward to your thoughts. So Steve, Kenneth wants to know about series as opposed to playing the individual games. So I guess the thing we have to do is kind of look up what are the prices and what are your thoughts here on this one at looking at series prices with some of these bad teams that we'd mentioned.
Well, when you look at it, we're fading the poor teams, so the series price generally it's pretty juicy. You know what I mean? It's close to negative 200, sometimes even approaching some of these even approaching the negative 300s, but you're pretty close to negative 200 on a series bet for some of the teams that we look at fading for a weekend. And when you look at it, the goal is, obviously you're going to have to win 2 out of 3 games, which if you did that with playing game to game, you would actually profit more with, you'd obviously be risking more units because you're playing 3 games. There's the chance of getting swept, obviously. But when we fade these teams, I know it just happened with the Twins, but we generally aren't getting swept. We're at least sneaking one of these games out, so we're only losing profit on the third game. And then there's always that great chance where you could sweep the series, and now you win all 3 of your bets, which would be the equivalent of what you'd almost have to risk to get the same amount if in one shot on the series bet.
Yeah. Yeah, you look at some of these. You got the Rangers minus 175 over the Marlins. You got the Red Sox minus 165 over the Jays. Guardians minus 200. I mean, Phillies minus 370. Phillies against the Royals. Boy, that seems like an odd one. But I'm
Yeah.
with you that the game to game interests me a little bit more than just the series. And the other thing is, even if you win the first game of the series, you could stop. You're up. Or you could, if you win the first 2, you're up. You could stop. I think just going game to game gives you a little bit more flexibility with some of it. So it's certainly worth a look, but it's not something that we've added to our repertoire. So I guess I would just say that.
Yeah, I just
So
prefer to have that chance to go for the sweep, and if you get 2 out of the 3 anyway, it's kind of equals. That seems to me like that would almost equal out, and essentially, and you have to risk one big bet for the series, especially with these juiced prices,
yeah.
highly juiced prices.
All right, we're going to do the free play and streak of the day. Guys, please hit the like button. We have way too many people watching and not enough likes. Please help me out so Johnny Detroit isn't asking me why there's only a few likes. It's probably because I forget to remind you guys, but please just hit the like button while you're watching it. It helps us out a lot. And also leave a comment. Tell us how your road to millions is going. If it's going bad, if it's going good, let me know. Tell us if we got some plays that you like. If you have any questions, just please leave us a comment. I like answering these questions on the show because it helps all of us. You send in a question and we're able to answer it. There's probably somebody else that's thinking the exact same thing. So anything that we can do to help you guys on your road to millions, more than happy to do it. So, all right, Steve, let's do our free play, and I am going to the UFC. And I'm going to take a couple fights that I think will start round 2. I will start with Jake Hadley and Cody Durden. So these guys, this is going to be a grudge match, man. These guys don't really like each other. No love lost. Sometimes we see it kind of start. Sometimes these guys can start off fights pretty fast if they don't like each other, and then they realize, oh God, this is a 15-minute fight. I better slow down. So you get like a minute of flurry, and then they're like, breathe, and then you get the slower for the rest of the first round. Also, I think these guys are very even. Hadley's going to be a little bit quicker in the striking. He's going to work some of those leg kicks. Durden is going to want to make this a wrestling match. He's going to try and backpack Hadley and look for the wrestling game. Hadley's good at wrestling, though. Hadley, I believe, is around the minus 180 mark to win. I think that line's off a little bit. I'm not betting on either one of them to win, but these guys don't like each other. It's going to be a war to try and finish it. I think this goes a distance, but I will take it to start round 2. And then Tatiana Suarez, the biggest favorite on the card, I believe, versus Jessica Andrade will start round 2. Listen, Suarez likes to maul her opponents, push forward, take them down, but she was off for a couple years because of injuries. Her first fight back was against De La Rosa, and I just didn't think she looked that great. De La Rosa is not very good, and Suarez was a little bit sloppy. It took her into round 2 before she got to finish. And Andrade is fast, and Andrade Suarez is if Suarez fights Andrade the way she fought De La Rosa, I think Andrade is going to take this to the judge's decision, and it's going to be really, really close. So Andrade is one of these fighters. Steve, this is an OnlyFans theory. Andrade
Nice.
towards the end of her career, she started her OnlyFans account, which we love fading. She's taking every possible fight she can. This is her 4th fight this year. She's like, just give me all the fights and all the paychecks. I'll do it. But I think this is close. I don't think Suarez is going to be able to absolutely dominate Andrade, and I don't think Andrade is going to be able to finish Suarez. So if you take both of these fights to start round 2 on the domestics, it comes out at -105, and I really like this play. I really wanted to take a player prop in CFL tonight. I wanted to take the Toronto Argonauts running back over his rushing total, and it's not up yet. So that was
Nice.
gonna be my that was gonna be my free play, but I had to make a little bit of an audible there. So, all right, let's do the streak of the day. But real quick, guys, please hit the like button. Please leave us a comment, and go grab those MLB plays of the day. We got a 2-pack that's up 4-0 in August, 62% since June, and the UFC PFL pack that is up. We're perfect the last 3 events. I said last week I only need 1 play last week to turn a profit. That's what we did. So. Feeling really, really good about where we're at. So, alrighty, streak of the day. This is a play that jumped off the page, but upon further review, it came up just short of making our card. It's the Cubs team total, 3.5. We've done a couple of these team totals this week. What did you notice about this one? And I guess, the streak of the day yesterday kind of cashes again with the Royals, huh?
Yeah, Royals cash again, second day in a row. Unfortunately, we missed the vote and didn't play it. Today we're looking at the Cubs team total over 3.5, and they're coming off a series where they just scored 46 runs in 4 games against the Cincinnati Reds. Across 46 runs across 4 games. They had a 20-run game, a 16-run game, a couple of 5 spots. They went over this total in 11 of their last 13 games. Max Fried's on the mound for the first time since May, and they actually hit lefties pretty well, top 10, hovering around the top 10 in most categories. He pitched well prior to his injury, so I guess that would be the one thing. There's not a lot not to like here. The Braves bullpen is pretty good. It's the one thing that kind of you might look at and say they could get shut down. It's a day game at Wrigley. Cody Bellinger is about the hottest hitter in the MLB right now. I guess other than, it doesn't really fit our model for what we've been doing recently with fading the poor teams. That would be the one other thing that maybe the reason why it doesn't make the card, but this is a nice team total and a nice spot where you could maybe cash some units in the day game today.
All right, looking at the Cubs team. I know somebody put in the comment section yesterday. They took the over in the Cubs and Reds. It was like easy cash, easy cash in that series on the overs. So
100%. It was the highest total on the board, but it still got there.
Amazing. So, all right, guys, let's have a great weekend on the road to millions. We're up plus 8.2 units. We'll be back on Sunday to kind of look at where we're at. And if we're having a good week, then we'll just kind of see where everything stands. So thanks, everyone, for tuning. Please hit the like button. Leave us a comment. Good luck on all your plays. We will see everyone on Sunday on the road to millions.
Good luck.